Look, I know some of you guys are godless heathens and fly the atheist flag. And so thusly, if you don't like a conversation circled around religion, you're not going to enjoy this video. I will see you in the next one. It's all good. All right. So by all means, it's time to make your escape. All right. You gone? You left? Okay, cool. All right. So you're sticking around. I am bringing to you the word violence today, and we are going to read the definition. Behavior involving physical force intended to hurt, damage, or kill someone or something. Strength or emotion, or an unpleasant, destructive natural force. Similar, see? That's the definition of similar, but that's in this noun. As far as the law is concerned, it's the unlawful exercise of physical force or intimidation by the exhibition of such force. So basically, the term violence, really, there's so many different ways that the gender and grievance studies crowd have taken this word with a rather specific meaning. Like it involves physical force. It involves actual the breaking or the breaking of skin and an actual attack, actual physical attack, and they've run it into the ground. Now, let's get to the rest of this video. See, we're at William J. Barber II's page. And William J. Barber, if you're unfamiliar with him, he's a minister from, I think, North Carolina, South Carolina, one of those places. And he got real big during, was it Occupy? No. This was after Occupy. This was like 2015, 2016 with the Poor People's Campaign. It was, and as somebody who has been, really geared in on, how the economics of our communities, urban, quote unquote, black communities works, I've been very, adamant about ways to subvert poverty and very, alert when it comes to those who seek to exploit that poverty. And I had hoped against hope that Reverend Barber would not be another, profiteer, because I guess maybe it's the whole reverend part because of my dad. I am the child of a minister, and I've always been, the one thing that God always told me was that if you really want to understand if the person that's claiming to speak on, the Lord's behalf is speaking on the Lord's behalf, ask them what's their message, what's their point. God will always give you a purpose. What is the reason behind it? And unfortunately, it doesn't seem as if Reverend Barber here has one. He's been playing the Democratic Party game. It's more along the lines of a sheep herder than anything else. Just like, oh yeah, well, this is a reverend. He's talking about poor people. He's talking like they always have done. It was no different than, the Jesse Jacksons and the Al Sharptons, all of these different charlatans, for lack of a better term, that just exploit the hell out of the conditions of urban America, and then turn around and, and point their sheep in whatever direction it is their masters would want. And the one thing that, at least my relationship with God has always informed me of is that, hey, a man that walks with purpose doesn't need all of that. Doesn't need people telling him what to do. Doesn't have people telling him what to do or where to go, or because, that's not how it works. Cause it's if we ask the Lord to order our steps, right? Then the Lord got it. The Lord moves us in the ways that he would so have us go. But unfortunately, from all I've been able to witness from this gentleman, it is just, daddy government, whatever I got to do to keep him on plantation here, sus. So, right now he's on MSNBC, which is let's be real, a step worse than CNN when it comes to the blue team lunacy. And let's get into what he had to say here, particularly as it pertains to violence.
You talking about violence. Before COVID, 700 people were dying a day in this country from poverty and low wealth.
Poverty is not violence. Okay, this is the thing. And this is why I really made sure to get clear about the terms that we're using, because they play these games when it comes to words. Poverty is not violence. And in many cases, if you're like, we have a state right now. We're just talking about government, locals, counties, and state governments in particular that incentivize having impoverished areas, because the, monarchies and the programs that, that just drain money via overhead. We've talked about this on the channel multiple times. They basically take the money and run. So it keeps these communities as jacked up as they are. But instead of focusing in on that and saying, hey, yeah, so how about we bring real, economic mobility and, manufacturing and good work back here for these, families to be able to really, operate off of. No. It's just like, well, because of the government, well, it's all poverty and everybody's saying here poor. And you want to say it a million times, but it's just, like I said, you say it so much, but it doesn't make it. Like, how are you actually going about trying to fix this? And no, they have nothing. These people are not about solutions. They're about complaining. They complain for pay. It's pretty bananas.
Million people uninsured. There's thousands of people dying from not having insurance in the richest nation in the world. Then we find out 100,000 people.
Okay, so Rev, deal is that in the richest nation in the world, it is broken down. We are a republic. So thusly, all the states, all the counties, all the municipalities, they have a responsibility in this too, not just the federal government, sir. But no. You don't want to have that conversation now, do you, Reverend?
From COVID, and thousands of them didn't have to, according to a study from Columbia. And then people are dying from not having PPEs and being forced to work at least.
So, guys, we got 2 weeks. We got 2 weeks. We will see how this plays out, because if folks don't just start dropping dead, this hoax will be exposed. Make no mistake about it. And so, honestly, like, the numbers have been completely mangled from the beginning. All the different claims, everything that we've witnessed, the shutting down of the economy, the shutting down of these businesses, all of this has been a response to everyone saying how we were facing doomsday and how we needed to be shut down and quarantined, and you can't hug each other. You got to social distance from each other. All this other stuff that Mr. Barber here has definitely played into. And it's what really frustrates me about a lot of these church folks who like to sit there and cry, oh, well, no weapon formed against me shall prosper. All right, cool. Well, why are you saying you're putting your faith in man? Like, every time I be at church, every time I was come up at church, well, the doctor said I had 5 minutes, but the Lord said I'm gonna give you 5 more years. Like, they be saying shit like that. Like, bro, all right, cool. So why you saying tripping about some man-made virus? But no. They have to sit there and toe lines. And that's the thing when it comes to, when it comes to these false, I don't want to say it in a disparaging man and call them a false prophet, but on some realness, like, bro, like, it doesn't seem as if you're doing my father's work, bro.
Situation. And
oh crap, sorry.
Situation. And then people see a lynching on TV.
It wasn't a lynching. Once again, and I will say this for the millionth and third time, in 1962, they would have thrown those guys a parade. Okay, 1954, they would have printed up flyers and had families all come from all over the county to watch this hang. So here we are in 2020, where, and I was bringing this up to someone before, like, you got situations like James Byrd. If you're unfamiliar with James Byrd, this took place in Texas. He was someone actually took a rope, tied it to the back of a truck and drugged this man for miles. The gentlemen who did this are now no longer with us. I believe that, I may be wrong, but I believe that they've been released from the mortal coil. So, like, to pretend as if this country doesn't recognize that, yeah, we have a jacked up history and we don't, there's like literally zero effort towards making things better it's insulting. It truly is. And it's not insulting to me. It's insulting to my ancestry as a descendant, as somebody whose family has been here the entire 400 years. I'm telling you, we're better off than we once were. But no. Oh my goodness, it's a modern day, it's a lynching. This is not a lynching. This is why we need more precision in how we speak and in what we intake. Because is it really that, or are you embellishing?
They actually watch it. 9 minutes of it, they watch it. What you had here was one of those tipping points. And we have to address that.
Yeah, it's been pointing for Antifa. As you can see, there's so many videos out there, and I got mad love for my fellow descendants, and not just my fellow descendants, but, you know, people of all walks and stripes, no matter what your color is. If you're one of those folks that's sitting there stopping people from wilding out, sitting there not taking the bait when it comes to, you know, the pallets of bricks and stuff like that, you know, respect to you, man. Mad love, hella respect. We on the same page. Use my peoples, all right? Because, like, yeah, it's one thing to be angry about something, and it's a whole different ball game to do something that's actually counterproductive and antithetical to achieving any real substantive change. Because ain't no way in hell you want to sit here and tell me that burning down a project building, or, you know, looting a Nike is like, you know, oh my goodness, justice for George Floyd. Nah, nope. It's just, it can't happen over here. But here he is saying here, you know, basically playing apologist. No. We do not, like, you're not affiliated with me, my guy. Like, we do not play apologist over here. Right is right, wrong is wrong. And that's one of those things that really infuriates me about all these, like, you know, ministers and people who claim to speak for my father. In this scenario, I mean, because I gave you guys the warning in the beginning of the video. This is a Christ our Father, man our brother, hold on. God our Father, Christ our Redeemer, man our brother. There we go. Like that, on that level. And so thusly, my dude, we're bros.
Violence. We have to say we've had a lot of violence. We've had looting, millions and trillions of dollars being stolen from the people, given to corporations in the time when we.
And here's the thing, you being hella hyperbolic because, oh, we've had looting and violence, but none of that is physical harm, my dude. None of that's physical violence. All of this is just you being hella hyperbolic. And guess what? That serves nothing. It doesn't help anybody. All it does is give these wild ass folks license to think that, oh yeah, we're on the right side of history. Get out of my face with this nonsense.
Should have been providing health care and living wages. Now, I don't condone any form of violence, but I like Coretta Scott King. When Coretta Scott King said, you're going to talk about violence, you have to talk about denying health care is violence.
That's not violence, though. You say here, listen, oh, why is it always coming back? Why is every time all of this stuff boomeranging back to listening to a chick? Why is all this stuff boomeranging back to listening to a chick? My goodness. Coretta Scott King. I don't give a shit what Coretta Scott King said. If we're going to keep it a buck, y'all all sit here and just make money off of the same problems. Let's end the drug war. Let's actually do some real policies that'll show people, hey, yeah, you know, we get it. We're not going to give the cops these type of laws in order to enforce and give them, you know what I'm saying, give them that green light. They give it that green light because they smelt a little bud. How about that? Nope. That's not what they're about. They're just saying it's complaining for the sake of complaining. I don't condone violence. Then you know what? Boom, done. There's no but after that. Because guess what? You wouldn't want it. And that's what pisses me off the most about all these folks is that you want it for yourself. You selfish bastard. You want it for yourself. So why you saying here, you know, being glad that it happened or, you know, not condoning, but not condemning it happening to the next person.
Denying union rights is violence, and denying children is violence, and also an apathy.
Oh, we wants to talk about the children, huh?